Anybody home?
Only the important people.
Morning all.
Good
Hey,
morning.
everyone.
Hey, Ron.
There we go.
The usual crew.
Standard, Ed. Standard. Yeah, I'm going for the non-look today.
Hey, I'm running upstairs to grab my my earplugs. I'll be right back. Don't get in trouble.
Wait.
Hang on, you just
Dave.
opened the door.
Dave.
Oh no,
We
it's recorded.
want
We'll get in
Dave.
trouble.
Now, Ed, he's opened the door. He's told us to behave while he runs away. That is a bad thing to say.
That's like, don't touch that. That's hot. You have to touch it.
I
Then.
know. I know.
Or don't
Oh, by
drink
the way,
too much
Ed-
on a night out.
Yes.
I know. Incidentally, Ed, see this lovely propeller here?
Yeah.
It's coming your way, I hear.
I thought you put that in the tea blender.
Yeah. And look, I need your mailing address. Oh, that's beautiful.
What?
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I've done that on the
I found a patch for the HMS Vengeance in England, and I want them to drop ship it to you and toss it
Oh.
in the box if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, no dramas.
Yeah.
You've got me on
You-
Facebook. I'll check.
Got it. What,
Yeah, just
what a
send it out
beautiful
to me.
name. I tell you, the HMS Vengeance, you guys know how to name a submarine. Vengeance
Yeah.
for a boomer.
Yeah,
Raining
you know it.
down on rain on a continent. Vengeance.
Oh, is
I
it
love it.
Vengeance? Was it Vengeance, Valiant? Was it got Vanguard, Vengeance, Valiant, and what was the other one? Oh, hang on, I'm gonna get the list up now because I've got them all laser cut on the servo trays for the WCTs.
HMS Pussy.
Hey, all right, Ed,
Hey,
how
look.
you doing?
Anakin Skywalker arrived.
Just trying to
Yeah,
help.
you know it. He's just here to cause trouble as usual.
He brings the dark side.
Indeed, indeed. Well, to be fair, I think all submariners are in the dark side, aren't we?
Death from below, baby.
Hey, Dave.
Indeed, indeed.
What?
Dave, Mr. Merriman.
Speak for yourself, Matthew.
Dave.
Yes.
Is it the last meeting? You were talking about using pneumatic cylinders, and somebody was having trouble, and you suggested turning it into a hydraulic one with a gear pump. Let me thank you. That works awesome.
Yeah. When you're dealing with a compressible fluid like a gas, you get hang-ups and stuttering.
Yep. It worked. It worked great with the little Keurig gear pump. It worked spectacular.
I'll bill you.
I find the only thing you got to watch, because I messed around with that for my 21, is the those hydraulic cylinders that you end up building are going to have a tremendous amount of thrust. So you're going to need to make sure that if you're using a mechanical stop, that it is like very robust, or you've got some sort of electrical disconnect in there. Because I literally exploded the first time I experimented with it. I exploded my entire conning tower from the force that just a plastic syringe and a little gear pump could put out.
Here's what you do, Bob, is somewhere in the discharge line from the pump, put in a length of flexible hose and then stick a pin in it. That becomes your safety relief.
What
So
Yeah, absolutely. And actually what I did, I found a bypass valve, and I think it was set at like 80 pounds. And so it would just release, and the excess pressure would bleed off. So
There you go.
did,
Yeah.
did you guys see, some of you may not frequent it, but someone had posted up a really cool periscope idea. And I don't know if Michael Bratley is on right now, but it's the scissor lift. That was actually really, really cool. I hadn't thought of that.
The simplest thing.
And it was so smooth. And you put one of those go slows on the servo, and it's just nice and even up and down.
And you didn't have to make room, a void where your WTC would be. The thing,
Yep.
it is so slick.
Just sits right on top. So for all of us who have, the cylinder style boats, it'll sit nice and flush right up on top of the cylinder and then pop right up.
You have a link to that, Bob?
It's on the subcommittee website. I just found it this morning, and I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a video right there. It links.
It's on YouTube. If you search,
I linked it up under favorite YouTube videos.
there you go. Yep.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Hey, just before we get started in earnest, a couple of housekeeping notes. Per our request and agreement, all of these are now being recorded. So hey, smile. You can look at yourself 10 years from now and marvel at how youthful you looked. The first one that we did, the public one, is posted on the DiveTribe homepage if you want to go back and look at that one. That one is publicly viewable on YouTube, but from this point forward, because this is a membership only deal, they're going to be accessed only by the links that are posted on the DiveTribe homepage. So you guys can consider yourselves, as you rightly should, members of the elite. And again, once this is all done, I'll post that up to YouTube and put the link on the homepage. So if there's any exceptionally important information that you find you did not write down, it'll be in that video, and you don't necessarily have to have a notepad. You can enjoy the company as opposed to trying to take notes. And again, as such, and as housekeeping, I want to reiterate, because it seems to be a recurring theme. If you are a newbie, for heaven's sakes, do not lurk. This is something that you're paying for. You better get your money's worth out of it. We got a few talented people on this forum that we've got here. By all means, take advantage of them. We'll let you know if we think your questions are too innate or mundane, but it hasn't happened yet, if it makes you feel better. So now's your chance to ask or forever hold your peace, or at least until the next DiveTribe video. There you go. Spiel over. A couple of notes from my shop, because I always kick it off that way, because I'm greedy that way. Let's see here. I'm gonna figure this out. Video, switch. There we go. All right. Some of you may have been following that. Some of you may have already placed your order. This is the new 48-inch Nautilus kit. This is the prototype build. I'm super stoked. It looks like a goopy, black, ugly mess right now, but that's because we are currently undergoing our proprietary weathering technique for Disney Nautilus, utilizing the Modern Masters oxidizing metal paint. So what this will end up doing, all of this black will actually turn into real rust. And then what'll happen after that, we'll do some brushing with a stiff brush. We'll wipe it down the excess, and we'll do some clear coating, and it'll look super awesome, and it'll look like a real Nautilus. So that's the big thing that we've been. Yo.
Yeah, 2 questions. First off, how quick did you sell out?
4 hours.
Who was the first?
That's a good question. I would have to go back in. It was somebody I was not familiar with. They must have been Johnny on the spot for my website.
Damn. Are you gonna do a video on this finish painting and finishing?
I'm gonna kind of do one better. I didn't elect to do a video on this one because it's my first crack at it, and I didn't want to, like, you know, 2 steps forward, 1 step back in a video. But this will have detailed step-by-step written instructions with a full illustrated photo documentation of what to do and how to do it and all of that stuff. So probably my next build will be video documentation, and the one after that will likely be an RC conversion of this kit.
Bob, didn't you do a video on that technique about a year ago?
Oh gosh, it was longer than that. I'll bet you it was like 6
Maybe
years
2
ago
years
or
ago.
7 years ago. Yeah. Yeah, it's you Google painting the Disney Nautilus on YouTube and that'll pop right up.
It was cool.
Yeah, they changed the formulation of this stuff. You can't I used to be able to activate it with vinegar.
Yeah.
But you can't anymore. It's yuck. So you have to buy their Modern Masters Rust Activator special formulation in order for it to
Where do you get that from, Bob?
It's ferric chloride.
well, whatever. You can't
Where-
use vinegar.
Where do you get that from?
It can't be ferric chloride. It's blue, Dave. It's special.
Yeah, okay.
Dave is special.
Where do you buy that paint from?
Yeah, I must be. I want to know.
You can get it off of Amazon.
What's it called again? Metal
Modern Masters.
Modern Masters.
Metal Effects, Rust,
Hey,
Iron.
Tim, when you find it, send us the link.
It worked great on my big Nautilus.
Wow.
I might use something with U-boat.
I've used it here and there, also weathering ships. Works great, just in spots.
Yeah.
Steve, how big
I mean,
is your?
I've got the custom replica 66-inch.
So it's 5.5 feet.
Yeah,
And how big
Yeah,
is the
I use
how big are the plans you used?
plans.
Yeah, did you have any plans that you worked from?
No, I got the kit from Bob.
Oh,
It was a used kit that he got in stock and then turned around and sold.
yeah. I'm looking to make like a 7 or 8 foot one, so I have to get some decent plans that I can scale. The little
seen
ones,
a
just if I blow them. What's
Yeah, I've
that?
seen a drawing online for it. It's like it's got cross sections and the whole bit. Not a difficult thing to locate.
Yeah. Yeah, because I find if I blow up the small ones that I got, the lines are, 2 inches thick. Put a
Yeah.
time on, and
Yeah.
the resolution is downhill. I'll get there. Bob said he might be able to help me out. So
I'm jazzed it sold out so fast.
Thanks, Tim. I'll
Okay.
buy some.
I'll
Yeah,
give it a
but-
go.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I mean, I used to use wire wool. I used to stick wire wool up beyond the anchors and just let it rust. That was a good way of doing it. Was it the old sprayer with salt water in it and just spray out the wire wool? Within a couple of minutes, you started to see it streak.
We lost
Bob,
Paul.
Hey, I got a question. Has any of you guys been messing around with Arduino at all for controlling your ballast systems?
Yeah. That's what all my stuff's made out of.
Tim, do you want me
Nice.
to go grab a sub commander?
No, because I've got one here.
Have you? Good lad.
I like that. Oh. Oh, I can't turn it on because my background picture.
Hang on, I've already got mine in my hand. Now, where am I? So that,
Oh, nice.
and there's your Arduino.
Nice. That's something you sell?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
that
I'm not
goes in
gonna
my
use-
dump.
one thing you'll learn is after you figured out how to use the Arduino, you won't need the Arduino itself. You can just use the chip. So you, because that's the problem with mine. I was using the smallest Arduino, but it's still quite big. But there's no need for me. I'll just use the chip and the regulator, and you can make them tiny.
That's good to know. I'd like to learn more about that.
Yeah. And also, if you don't use the Arduino itself, you can use less than 5 volt. So you can power it up off a 3 volt, off nothing.
That's interesting.
But if you're interested, I'll give you the
Great.
basic code that you need to read a receiver. I don't mind giving that out because the more people, because people come up with new ideas all the time. So, but the hardest thing is getting it to read the receiver input properly, because there's an easy way, which is alright for one channel. But if you're putting multiple channels, multiple inputs, it reads it the wrong way and it will cause issues.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I'd like to, if you got time, I'd like to hook up with you and talk about that more.
Yeah, feel free. Just PM me. I say I learn a lot from people. I'm more than willing to help people learn it. I won't give you all the code because you don't learn. You just need a starting point. As long as you got a starting point, you can work the rest out, and then everything's open.
Nice. I'm experienced in writing code for machinery, as well as a little bit of computer.
Oh, it's easy. If you got that background, then it's a simplified version of C++.
Nice.
That's the easy way to explain it. But yeah, reach out, feel free. Or if that goes to anybody, if anyone wants to learn this stuff, feel free to PM me or put something on the forum. I'm more than willing to sit down and show you how it works, because that's what we're all here for, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, I'm using it in all the WTCs now that I'm providing, and it's because it's got the 3 fail safes built into it, and also it's just such a simple system. I just plug it in, and off those, obviously Tim's done all the work for me, but it's definitely the right way forward because you can control so much at once. If that makes sense. I mean, don't ask me any technical stuff because it just goes over my head. That's why I put Tim. Just let Tim do it.
Nice. Yeah, I had no idea that your WTCs were actually using Arduino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then but the next one won't. The next one will literally just be using the same chip the Arduino uses, and it'll be half the size.
Yeah.
But the difference is you then need to learn how to solder, surface solder, which is difficult. But for the basic for a basic thing, you can just literally plug this in. You can make an on-off switch for your lights for next to nothing. And then you can make it have panels, you can make it do whatever you want.
Yeah.
There are a lot of great resources online for Arduino. A guy named Paul McWhorter has a 60, 70 videos step-by-step taking you through learning Arduino and programming them. There's a lot we can do with that.
Yeah. What turned me on to it was some of John Dutton's videos. Been kind of going down the rabbit hole of the work he did. Pretty cool stuff.
Right now I have my
I got a question. If anybody,
Bob, you have to unmute yourself.
I only wanted to use that as a decoration.
That was a rookie mistake. I was apologizing profusely for getting kicked off. I don't know what happened there. I lost internet and but I got back on. So I don't know what I missed, but I did want to mention, because I saw Tim talking about, you know, his electronics and stuff. I have stock right now for his really cool water detector modules and his pitch controllers. So if you guys are interested in nabbing those are available and advertised on my site right now. I got like a bunch of them in stock, ready to go whenever you guys are ready. And I didn't get to finish my spiel, so I'm going to monopolize just a little bit more. Because I'm super excited, making more progress on this Mark III subdriver. So you guys saw like this, like old, what I was working on before with these like flanges on the outside. I got all of Dave's stuff, and I'm gonna switch the camera around so you can see the like volume that we're talking about here. Oh, there's my dog. Hi. You want to say hi to everyone? All of these caps and flanges and you know, mounting bulkheads and all of that stuff. Dave was like amazingly generous in sending everything that he had there. So it created, you know, a launching platform for a bit of a revised version of the cylinder. And this is what I've got going on right now. So I am not going to, by any stretch, try and emulate Dave's work with sheet metal. I am, however, going to utilize 3D printing, and I'm sure he's squirming in his chair right now and smashing his head against the computer screen seeing this. But the idea behind this, I still wanted to utilize, you know, that facing seal versus an inside seal on the tube, because we can't control the inside tolerances of the polycarbonate tubing. And so I'm going to have these adapter rings that go on and sandwich a big beefy 1/8" seal on there. And then we're going to have some internal rods, you know, very similar to the you know, the Shearline Bex OTW version. I guess Bex uses outside, so no, I'm not using your idea. So these are on the inside and they run through. But the cool thing about this, the way I've got this set up, I think it's cool, is the equipment trays actually slide on these rods. And so it creates a really stable mounting platform for all of the components. So this is a 3-inch cylinder with dual high output pumps. And they're going to slide right there. We got the equipment tray that's going to slide right there, and that'll be bolted to the end cap, which is going to bolt, you know, just like that. And then we're going to have waterproof little caps on there, so you can control the tension that that seal has on the cylinder. So that is really cool. The other thing I'm going to do, I am going to kibosh, kill, and bury Dave's very carefully engineered vent system. This is the current setup where you guys are probably familiar. It's got like this arm that comes out and it goes up, and it had like a little L shape, and it would open and close a vent. What I'm gonna do is bring this internally, and it's gonna be a pinch valve utilizing some soft hose. So there's gonna be no breach or seal or opening that goes into the ballast tank anymore. It'll be a solid connection for tubing that goes in. And the other thing I'm really excited about, and Dave, you'll be kind of stoked about this, is this. This is an ultra top secret space age on the floor unit. And this is hopefully a snorkel. What this basically is a membrane, a nylon membrane that allows air to pass through, but not water. So instead of a mechanical actuating snorkel valve, this has the membrane that is permeable only to air. So we'll mount that up in the sail, and then you know, obviously if it's submerged and you kick the pump on, it won't be able to draw air from the surface or from the outside the cylinder. It'll draw it from inside, below the tank, model surfaces. This gets above the water. That membrane quote unquote dries out. It takes about 3 or 4 seconds, 5 seconds for that membrane to dry out. And then it'll pull air and equalize the pressure in the cylinder. And these are all ready-made, off the shelf, pretty super cool stuff. I'm going to try it and we'll see if it works.
Bob, have you checked the differential pressure that thing will put up with before it fails water?
I have done a very non-scientific test by wrapping my lips around it and sucking, and I was not able to breach or pull any air whatsoever through this with the rather limited suction I was able. Now, if I got my wife in there, she would be able to break it. Oh, you didn't hear that from me. But I was not.
I heard that. Loud and clear, Bob.
If I had said something like that, you would have banned my ass.
I must admit,
you lost the tone there. It's a good thing we're not recording this or anything. So I'm excited to try it. The only thing I wasn't super stoked about was the fact that it was not an instantaneous release or equalization of pressure. But if it takes 3 or 4 seconds for that membrane to bleed out, I still think that's fine. That'll get up, and the membrane will bleed clear, and then you can equalize the pressure that way. So initially I was going to offer these only as a dynamic or per Dave's nomenclature snort variant of cylinders, because I am a massive fan of that for subs. I think people who have static diving or insist on static diving subs are a little messed up in the head, because no real boat dives that way. But this will allow full static diving, and you just like bolt it in, connect the hose to it, and in theory it should work. So I'm excited. It feels kind of neat and organized. Hopefully by end of next week I'll have a functional prototype to try.
Hey, Bob.
Yo.
Hey, really nice work on that, by the way. It's very clean. What are you using PLA on those parts? Or are you having those nylon sintered? The reason I ask is what I found in that torpedo work. I was using, I think it was the Eco ABS for the main chassis.
Yep.
And the little coreless motors, if they built up heat, would distort that chassis. So I had to put a lot of attention into reducing. And long story short, I noticed that you have the motors to the pumps seated into those parts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how hot they get. I'm not familiar with the larger ones. I was actually on your site last night looking at those. But is this something maybe be aware of?
It is for sure. I've never run into an issue with them, and I've certainly never had an issue where these things got hot enough that I actually noticed any noticeable increase in the surface temperature of the pumps. With the dual pumps in this particular unit, it's going to evacuate that ballast tank exceptionally quickly. So the duty cycle is going to be very, very low. It's not like we're going to be running it for 10 or 15 minutes under high pressure or anything like that. So I think we'll be okay, but I appreciate that comment. And certainly it would be easy enough to, switch to like a PETG or something like that, where the melting temperature is more like, 220 or 230 versus 180. So yeah, good point for sure.
Yeah, awesome design. Good work.
Bob, when are you going to post some more videos?
Boy, everybody this is the critic today. I like videos on builds. So the next one is going to be on the. Let me switch here again.
What you're going to do?
I've got it all set up here. So I've had this one on the shelf for a while. This was a boat I think I previewed to you guys earlier. It's a Shearline Trafalgar, also known as the current Beck's Trafalgar. And this is all done up with a modified version, and I showed this to you guys earlier, so I don't need to go into it, of the Shearline cylinder. Well, I'm going to show it to you because it's so cool. I have to. just a simple thumb nut, no tools, slide it forward, pull it off. And this is what would currently, or what in the past have barely been recognizable as a shearline cylinder. So I replaced the plastic tube, PVC tube, with acrylic. So now you can see everything that's going on in here right now. I upgraded the pump from the centrifugal pump to a gear pump with a big gear pump and solenoid valve that's hiding underneath there. But these are all stock shearline components inside. So I'll be doing a video on this Monday and probably post it up Tuesday or Wednesday. Worked really well at the pond.
That anchor is a nice touch.
Oh,
The
on the
anchor
top,
you have
yeah,
there in the
yeah.
ballast tank, that's a nice.
Yeah, that's the old shearline mark. Unfortunately, I can't copy that. But anyway, my tubes are not black anymore; they're all clear. So I learned that lesson.
Hey, Rob, we got a question for you.
Ready?
Yes, cool. I know I got that 148 CAD files from Auto for the Type 21. And
yes.
I think you are building the same one in smaller scale or something. And I was wondering, how do you tackle, servicing this boat? As in getting into it and so forth, because I'm having a real hard time with it. And I'm thinking I might be changing the STL files and, make it like, so I can open the thing from above. As opposed to his clip things, because these clips are not even part of the kit. So he designed something that only he can use, in a way.
So yes, good point. So in perhaps typical European fashion, and this is just my experience, they like the transverse, like bayonet style mounting for submarines, and it's cleaner for sure, but it unfortunately means that access to the hull is limited, as you are finding out right now. So what you actually end up needing to do is to cut, or they'll be built into the files, access hatches, for accessing linkages and all of that, kind of stuff. I am completely on board with you in regard to modification of those STL files. Split it at the water line. And, to create a simple, bolt action lockdown for the upper hull to the lower hull would be something that I would highly recommend.
Mm-hmm.
The fiberglass version that, and it's sitting up here in a bit of a disarray, so you can see it. It's split at the water line, and you can see it's got lips, and it just basically drops right down on top. Makes it a little bit easier, for access to the internals. There's a, properly engineered, those can be fine. It's just not as intuitive. It's just not as convenient as splitting the hull, horizontally at the water line. So I really don't know what to tell you other than the fact that his system does work. I printed it. You've got those hooks in there. You can depress them and pull the ends out to get access to the interior of the boat, but you still don't have access to the linkages and such. So that's a
By the way,
that's a problem.
Okay, good. I don't think actually I got those clips in my kit. I think they were not part of it. Not that I care. I don't want to do it anyway.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you that. He has a batch, of files that he sells, and they come with kind of what they come with. But if you need those, if you want those, I'm sure I could dig them up for you.
No,
but yeah, but I'm a huge fan of your strategy. I think you're going down the right path. If you've got the skills to do so, let's just split that hull horizontally at the water line, and you'll be far more happy with the flexibility that you have for installation and maintenance.
Cool, thanks.
Can I just jump in? If you wanted to, there's a program called NetFab, which you can split that in your STL files, and you'll be able to print it with the top and bottom separated. You'll find that a lot easier than cutting it yourself physically. So if you look for a program, it's called NetFab. It is a free program, and you'll be able to cut that up.
Yeah, I'm actually using Tinkercad and some other tools online. So yeah, I didn't plan on cutting it physically, but on the computer, yes.
As I said, NetFab's the best one I've used.
Okay.
That's what I use a lot. I'll draft in one program and I'll run it through NetFab to clean it up and make sure there's no errors in the file. But just so that you guys know, 3D printed parts cut like crap. They're terrible. There's not really a nice, easy, even just using a handsaw can melt the parts and bind on the blade. And there's nothing more frustrating than trying to cleanly cut a 3D printed part. So it's far better to have it done, you know, in the files and print them that way than it is to try and you know, jury rig a solution after you've got a part in your hand.
By the way, you know, I also got your Type 2 CAD files, and I think you are underselling yourself there. I think you're taking away its quality. I think it's superb, and you're saying, oh, it's all thick and it's all to not to scale and so forth. I think that's a brilliant kit. And
well,
I
appreciate that. You know, that was a challenging one because the files that were given to me to modify to do that were beautiful, but it was a shell. Like, you know, it was just the outside, and so I needed to, you know, shell it in order for there to be any sort of thickness to the model, and it kind of messed things up. But at any rate, I appreciate the comments. Thank you very much. I feel okay with the price that I'm offering on that, and if you think it's cheap, then by all means tell your friends, buy two.
Well, what I actually ended up doing is I had you know, I got one of the Bronco kits, the 135 Type 23.
Yeah,
and which is a nice kit, and from there I got all the little details like the tower, you know, the antennas and all that stuff.
There you go.
So
yep, absolutely.
If I can do a quick shout out, I just want to let you guys know, and Bob, I'm in the process right now of printing out the Hunley. You can see part of it there in my picture.
I've seen it on the forums. That's awesome.
It has, I think, out of the 4 files that I purchased from you, this has got to be one of the best. It's coming out extremely solid. I like the fact that it's got the way the 2 hulls are fitting together. Right now they're just taped, so I could show it off a little bit. But the files, my Dremel just did a fantastic job on it. Just barely made the height, but it did do it. And along the way, I've also got to thank David Merriman for all his help on helping me get this 2.5-inch subdriver, not only to fit inside of it, I had to extend the hull 2.5 inches out. So I'm not right to scale as to what Bob had designed. And also to get the ballast system, and this will be my very first ballast driven submarine. So I'm really looking forward to this. And again, David popped in and explained to me how to set up the snorkel and everything to it. Hopefully it'll work. We'll know that sooner or later, I guess. But it's really a neat project. I picked up a book for you guys that are interested. It's called The Sea of Darkness, and it's written by Brian Hicks. And he's got a complete 500-page book on how they found the sub. He went in and got all the drawings of the first, I guess they had 3 of them, and a couple of them sank. And then the one this one is really not the true one, but it is one of them. But anyway, with that book and everything and building it, it's really been a fun experience to this point, and I'm really thrilled with how it's coming out. So I'll keep posting on it for those that are interested. But again, I want to thank David for his help. He's been extremely helpful to me to get this thing hopefully up and running.
Don't give Dave compliments. It gives him a big head.
Well, it seems like every time I post on my project, he's right there. It's like it's minutes. He's waiting. But nonetheless,
Stalker alert.
okay. But it's certainly helpful to have guys like you out there helping us newbies get through this stuff, because this will be my first Nautilus setup, and you know, it's in the swimming pool, but it's not going to make much difference. But it'll be fun to watch it go down a little bit and come back up on its own.
That Hunley is actually a really, really cool model. And, you know, the crazy thing is, you know, you kind of, you build it, and Steve Hodges will be able to chime in on this because he's building it in something stupid like half scale. It's like a mile long or something like that. But you know, it's actually really long, and the issue is, over and above that, you've got this crazy spar that extends beyond the hull, you know, another half hull length. So I mean, I don't remember what the overall length of the boat was after I built it. I posted on that video on YouTube, but you know, with that spar and the torpedo hanging off the front, it's a long boat. I would love to just print it out as a display model, you know, and keep it out, just because there's so many really cool details in it, and more than that, just the historical significance of the Hunley. Now, you said there was 3 boats. To the best of my knowledge, it's the same boat. It sunk 3 times, and it killed, I believe, 2 crews, including the originator, the Mr. Hunley. He died in one of the sinkings as well. So it was not the most successful boat, but it was certainly one of the most historically significant boats when it comes to submarines. So if you guys are interested, I mean, the cool thing about 3D files is, you know, you could buy it and yeah, it's like 4 feet long, but you could scale it down to like 18 inches and make a really cool, you know, display model for your, you know, your home or office or whatever. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. You're doing a great job. Super excited to see that thing wet.
We'll keep on it, and hopefully that, you know, with some more help along the way with my sub driver, I'll be working close with David on it. We'll get it in one way or another, but it has been a great build. And again, this book is a great history on it. So it kind of, you know, it makes it substantial as far as the build goes. So.
By the way, it's kind of fun to see you there online on the forum. I didn't know that was you here from this group, and I'm very jealous on your Dremel printer.
This printer I have is one of the first printers that Dremel put out. It's the 3D 40 series, and I've got 8 years on it, and it's still just pumping out beautifully well. Very pleased with it.
I got 2 of the 3D 45s, and I can't say enough good things about them. I love those printers too. The only thing I don't like about them is that they are crap at rafts. My parts always fuse to the rafts. I can't get them off without like cutting. I don't know. I had a MakerBot before, and they would just like pop right off, but the Dremel fuses right to them.
Yeah, same problem, Bob. So I went with the blue painter's tape, and it's still, you know, you still wind up ripping it sometimes. It just depends. It's kind of temperamental in that area. And again, I think a lot of the files have something to do with it too. So, but boy,
Gotcha.
the files on this boat have been excellent.
Excellent. So I'm trying to remember the next one. Oh, Bori is the next one from that particular 3D artist, the Russian Bori class. If any of you guys are interested, that'll be the next one coming from Randy Sanders. Super talented guy up in my old neck of the woods up in Canuck land there. Got nothing better to do in the middle of winter than draft 3D files.
Will that be?
I have actually.
Okay, just one more question. Is that going to be a double screw or a single?
That is a single screw. I'm trying to remember. I think that might be like a shrouded pump jet boat. I can't remember now.
Right on. Looking forward to it.
So I have a.
The Bori has 2 variants.
Oh, somebody knows what they're talking
I'm
about.
sorry,
Okay.
the Bory has two variants. The original is unshrouded, the propeller, the prototype, and I believe the ones going after that are have the shrouded.
There you go. There you go. Hey, a couple things that sprung to mind. Number one, my RC Submarine for Dummies book. I can't use that because I think Steve Neal did that. Is coming along really well. I keep on thinking I'm done all the text, and then I'm like, oh, it'd be cool if I talked about this, and then it's like another 5 pages of crap that I need to put in there. So that's coming along really well, by the way. So it'll I think help. It goes into a lot of things.
We lose Bob again.
He's not.
Hope he flies better than this.
Yeah, I'm about to say. Otherwise, he's not doing very well tonight, is he, boys? Oh, is he coming back?
He's not near the Bermuda Triangle, is he?
Yeah, I think we've lost him.
At least he's not the host of the meeting, otherwise it would have been ended.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's gone now, so everyone's saying everything bad about him. I'm only joking. Go on, Dave. You know you want to. Go on, Dave.
Teacher's out of the room, guys.
You know it. You know, well, the cat's away, the mice will play.
Matthew,
Say
when
again,
was the last time you shaved?
About a week ago. Well, you see, the Navy's kind of not doing anything, so I thought, well...
Anything anyway.
Say again?
The British Navy doesn't do anything anyway.
Well, not at the moment, we're bloody not. We're sitting around doing nothing.
Almost as bad as our RAF.
And nobody's better at doing nothing.
You know it. And anyway, those crabs... Sorry, RAF... Maurice, did I send you that email about that clip?
No.
Can you see my screen all right?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh yeah. No,
yeah, I did.
I got two different versions of that.
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Nice and simple. So I keep my tops together.
I'm all paid up with Bob on the WTC now.
I know. It's
going to be 2 months.
Yeah, I got the order yesterday, so I ordered the polycarbonate yesterday as well. So, well, hey. So, Maurice, can you send me an email what you want engraved on the dive trays?
Yeah.
What boat names you want engraved on there, so I can do that.
You were going to send me a fin plate that I had Vanguard number 1.
Yeah, I'll stick it in your WTC.
You show me those clips again?
Oh, yeah, sure. Hang on, let me just take it apart. Right, so they're brass, and they've got brass bearings inside. Hang on, there we go.
Oh, and they're spring-loaded.
Yeah, that's it. And I always put one forward, one aft. I don't bother with screws, and that's how my Vanguard top stays on.
They're like old cupboard closures.
Yeah, that's it. Old cupboard door closures, that's it. I mean, they work really well. I mean, that's how the shear line used to do it, and I've just carried on suit. I mean, I've never lost the top with them, apart from I throw it on the floor, but...
They won't stay in your hand, but you don't lose your top.
Exactly, you know it. But and it's simple. It's a quite straightforward, just chuck the top on, clip, done. And I mean, I've used magnets in the past, and I found magnets absolutely useless, and I've always gone back to using those clips.
By the way, Matthew, I'm doing build photos for you on the Vanguard.
Yeah, fantastic. You still enjoying it, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
I haven't gotten pissed off yet.
Well, you'll laugh at this. I'm actually making another Vanguard at the moment. I've got a customer, a disabled customer, that's asked me to build it for him. So I'm doing that at the present moment in time. And it's quite enjoyable doing it again.
Yeah, with all your free time.
There's no free time here. None whatsoever.
Thank God you're on lockdown.
Yeah, you know it. I get locked in my shed and that's it. I don't come out. I mean, it's the WTCs. They've come on really well. I'm really chuffed with them. You saw the videos. I mean, I got one here. I mean, as I said, the old shear line design, but I've tweaked it quite a lot, especially with Tim's control board. The baffles inside, which the shear line never had, and also the new valve, which operates really well. And I've also changed the website as well. So I've got a new website. It's not .com anymore. It's .co.uk. That's it's been busy actually, even with the cooler upgrades. That's taken a lot of time over the last couple of months. But and then
How is it with the virus over there?
Well, we're in lockdown. This is our third, Tim, or is it our fourth lockdown? I can't keep track of it now. Fourth.
Wow.
Third, yeah, it is the third, isn't it? But basically, because I live in Kent, we got put in tier 4 just before Christmas, so we didn't have Christmas with our folks or anything. We were stuck here, and basically, we just came straight from tier 4 straight into lockdown, and we don't expect to come out of this till mid-March, end of March. It's caused absolute havoc. So the postal service didn't want to know us. That's now sort of sorted itself out. Trying to get stock in has been an absolute nightmare. I'm kind of glad that it's all starting to settle down again, but we'll see, because it only need another little spike or something like that, and it all goes back being pear-shaped again. But I think we got the obviously the vaccinations are going out now. I'm still waiting to be called up for that one. That hasn't happened yet. But it looks like
priority being in the Navy.
Well, this is what we think, but at the moment, it looks like that we're going to get called up mid-February to go and help do the vaccinations. They started doing training with our guys last week. I'm not on the call-out list at the moment because obviously the business, and I've kind of told them to set back a little bit because I've got so much work on here. I can't afford to lose 2 months away from the business, and you guys don't want me to go away just yet. But I know some of my guys in my unit have already started doing training. So, but I won't get the vaccination until most probably September time. Wow. I know my uncle's got he's already had his first one. He got it before Christmas, but his second one's been delayed. But hey, well we live in now, isn't it? Just be careful.
All government.
Yeah, Arizona is #1 in the world.
Oh,
so,
what about?
Yeah. And it's getting worse yet. They're just about ready to lock the hospitals down, and they're going to have to do what they have to do, I guess. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be halting here at all.
No.
LA's right behind them.
Yeah. I mean,
isn't it? I work for the VA hospital where I live in Pennsylvania, and I got a memo which wasn't put out to everyone, just a few people. They basically told us they don't expect us to be back at work where I work until sometime in October of this year, if that. Because people don't understand. They said, yes, when you get vaccinated, you're protected from the virus when you get the second shot, but you can still carry the virus in you and get it, not get sick, but you can give it to someone else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's just catch the damn virus, get over it, and move on.
Then there's nothing that can be done about it.
Yeah.
To some people, it's pretty bad, the virus. I had a buddy of mine that passed away from it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we've lost 3 members from our boat club in the last month.
We've always had diseases. This ain't nothing special.
Well, with that, David, we can carry on.
Indeed. I think so. I think, yeah.
That kind of wraps it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
What happened to Bob?
I think Bob's just run away. He's like, do you know what, guys? You crack on and do this yourself. You don't need me here.
Last shot I saw of Bob, he was hanging around a chain link fence.
Yeah,
I'm back. I've got terrible internet here today. I don't know what the heck's going on.
Got a question.
I give up. But hey, before I lose, okay, there's a question. I'll give it to you before I get kicked off again by my internet provider. If anybody is interested in it or knows of somebody who would be, David Merriman and I talked about this. If we take a look at our forums, there is an absolute treasure trove of information in there, but it is abysmal to try and find it. What we're looking for is somebody who'd be willing to crawl through the forums and extract the best thread. So for example, if someone has an awesome like how-to or a build thread on a boat, to just put the link down and kind of catalog what it is and how to find it. So I'll be putting this up in the forums there, but I really am looking for somebody who'd be willing to take the time to crawl the forums, find the best threads, and make a list of all of the best how-to videos. I mean, David Merriman has like so much amazing information posted in there, how-to videos on like painting and trimming and all of this stuff. It would be a shame if it got lost in this like massive vault of information. So just bear that in mind. If you or someone you know would be interested in that, let me know. If you want to volunteer, great. If you're open to it, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time and trouble as well. So bear that in mind. All right, Steve, question.
Yeah, I am currently working on a boat that has an X-shaped stern.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering about pitch control on that. I'm looking at going 2.4 gig on it, and this is it so far. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's still got 3 sections to print, but it's the Columbia based on artist renderings that I've seen online. They only just started building them back in October, so there's nothing much to go on. But anyway, with the X stern on it, I was looking at setting up the radio, because it's all computer programmable, of just like a VTAL on an airplane. Okay. Not a big, but I didn't know about being able to control the pitch on that, because essentially you're dealing with 2 channels. And I thought about maybe 2 pitch controllers, one on each channel, because they are mixed through the radio to work together. I thought that would probably be about the closest thing I could come up with, but just wondering if there's any thoughts, ideas. Has anybody done that before?
Yeah, I have. So, all right, here's what you do. You don't mix, shush. You don't mix at the transmitter. You just leave it configured the way it is. Elevator for stern planes, rudder for rudder. All right. You do your mixing in the boat using a VTAL mixer. Input to the VTAL is where you put your angle keeper on the channel that normally goes or comes from the receiver, which is your elevator. So you got 2 inputs, rudder, and then the angle keeper go into the input side of the VTAL mixer. VTAL mixer goes to your 2 servos, and that's where the mixing occurs, along with the corrective inputs from your angle keeper. You're still in the loop, just like a regular X-tail or cruciform tail, but now everything's working for you as though it was a cruciform, but it's mixed on the boat. The boat has to sense angular displacement. Can't do that if you're doing it from the transmitter.
I guess, yeah, I've thought of that too. And yeah, that's definitely an option. Definitely an option.
I am looking at building one. So I can have another leveler that will work like a dual one, like the angle mixing one does.
Mm-hmm.
So you plug, it sort of works the same way, but you plug the, it does the mixing inside. It does both the mixing and the leveling together.
Really?
I don't know how long it'll be, because it's quite complicated to work out all the mixing and everything, but if there is a need for it, I can bump it up the list.
Well, I was going down the path of just trying to mix it in the radio, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, how do I control pitch on that, or compensate for it to keep the boat level? And that's when everything came to a stop. But
in my experience, David is absolutely right. All of that control occurs at the boat level rather than the transmitter level. That's all autonomously controlled. So I remember what is like. So I think it would be fine to forego, to electrically the transmitter and just
Hey, wait a minute. If you're using a V-tail mixer, the electronic one that has two inputs and two outputs, right? Like your tank mixer, wouldn't you put the 82 between the receiver and that on the stern plane channel? Because it's mixing it downstream of pitch control. It's just emulating your stick movement for rise and dive. So it would be between the receiver and a V-tail mixer input. And you have
That's what I said.
Exactly what Dave said. With that lovely look on his face. And it's as simple as that, because you're doing a stick movement of rise and dive, and that's what the pitch controller does for you. It's sensing the pitch of the boat, and it's correcting for it. So it'd be on that same input to a V-tail mixer, and you're done.
Yeah. You're controlling two servos with the pitch input from the pitch controller instead of one.
Right, but that's what the V-tail mixer
does. The radio and to the pitch control, and so forth. Then you're taking two inputs instead of one, and adjusting it. So
we also need the input from the rudder as well.
Yeah, but that's going through
aircraft. That's all.
They do it all the time with aircraft.
Yeah, the Bonanza.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Just like on an airplane, you have a gyro on an airplane. It's
Steve?
Yeah.
I'm just giving this, I don't know if it's a good idea, bad idea, or anything. In the model airplane, the RC airplane, don't they have a V-tail mixer that you get and you hook up the two servos?
No, you program it in the radio for V-tail application. And then any gyro on it.
No, I have a V-tail mixer.
I'm using the old days.
You have the choice on an airplane, because you typically, with today, now there's exceptions, with an RC aircraft doing a V-tail, you mix at the transmitter. You also do that for your flying wings and your diamond shapes. That's fine where you're using elevons.
Yeah.
But in our case, we have onboard sensing, which is a prerequisite to driving a submarine. You need that thing to sense pitch changes. The aircraft doesn't have that burden. Therefore, we cannot mix at the transmitter, not for a submarine.
I've got to
admit, but what I was thinking,
Dave, that's made my stuff a lot easier.
Say that again, Tim.
I do like the way Dave just explained it, because that was the hardest thing, was me trying to figure out how to mix it in electronically. But how Dave just explained it, where you put it in front of the V-tail mixer, makes my calculations a lot easier to work out. I never thought about it that way.
But one other thing, we're making too much of this than there really is. For $7, you can get a mixer.
But I charge 14. I don't know how much I charge. I have to look. But yeah, I think that's the idea, Steve. It sounds like you were really kind of hoping to be able to do this at the transmitter level, but I don't know if you that the way you want. Each other.
You're breaking up real bad, Bob.
I think Bob needs to feed the meter.
Yeah, I'm going outside. I'm giving up. There, is that better?
Much better.
Seems better.
It's all
So
the
Tim,
plutonium I'm keeping in here for the.
So Tim, does that mean I can get on thinking about doing Dreadnought now?
That means I don't have to spend hours design.
Well, that's good. I will think. I'll start speaking to some.
I've got an electronics retail mixer upstairs, and I'll have a play with it. But yeah, that would work a lot easier. And that is right. You're only looking at the level. I was looking at it, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll start looking now. Now we're happy with that. I'll start looking at thinking about doing Dreadnought for a couple of years' time.
Yeah, with all your free time, Matthew, all you need is another project.
I know. I love projects. So what was it? Stingray, the Stew.
How's that coming along?
Typhoon.
In the immortal words of Jackie Chan, you need to focus on your focus.
Yeah, nah. I'm always do lots of things at once. I just how I am. Yeah. Was it before I did the business? I was doing 3 model boats all at once. That's just how I am. It's stupid, really. But
You should see my project list.
yeah.
How are you feeling, David?
None of your goddamn business.
See, Davey's feeling really good, but really what he wants is a Stingray.
I need another project. Thank you very much. Hey, I'm doing fine. Listen, looking at you, miserable fucks, I'm in great shape.
What, being locked in that room all day long?
Well, we're all nuts, David. It's just a matter of degree.
Or depth. All right, so now we're watching Bob's off for a drive, so he's obviously going home to get better Wi-Fi. he can't hack it.
Where are you going, Bob? Come back. Come back. All is forgiven.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
I gave up on the internet.
I didn't mean to ask you about when you're going to post more videos, Bob. Come back.
I'm going home.
Oh, are you regretting recording this particular DiveTribe?
Hey, you guys were the ones that wanted it recorded. I wanted to just like have our meeting and go about our day, but now I've got to like download the video and upload the video and worry about editing F words.
We've got about 5 minutes worth of usable footage.
Tim, you got the small violin there, mate, because you need it.
You're not going to want to use this one as a recruiting tool.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
we need the next 3D files too, Bob, please.
Yeah.
They're coming. You know, I got Ohio most of the way done. I completely started over again. I know that Steve was excited about them. There was a massive error in the internal shell. It was all offset and goofy. I had to start all over again.
Yay, good for you.
You could have produced that one and said it hit an underwater mountain.
No, it was nasty. I didn't like it. Do it right the first time, and then you don't need to deal with people saying, "Oh, this is all crooked. I don't like it." Well, I told you it was crooked and you wouldn't like it, but you bought it anyway.
Elements battle damage.
Well, was it most of it? Was it? I'm sure it was in Ohio in 2016 that ran hit a mountain underwater. I think it was off Gibraltar.
Wasn't it the upholder that failed its first sea test, Matthew?
Yeah, something like that. Was it also was one of the Trafalgars in 2017 hit a
upon which, well, afterwards, the Canadian Navy immediately bought two.
yeah, exactly, fair one.
I think that was it. There was actually 3. I saw Victoria, the renamed Victoria, when she came into Esquimalt. I was there when she pulled in. And that was the end of it for like a year. And she spent a year in dry dock getting fixed.
One that hit another submarine.
Yeah, or is it a bit like the Astute decides to run aground on its sea trials? Got fantastic pictures of the propeller though.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, guys, I'm pulling up to my house. I've had enough of you. I've taken all I can take today. I'm gonna sign off as usual. You are all welcome to continue chatting ad infinitum about whatever you'd like to talk about. I will download this and then upload to YouTube, and then you guys can watch later at your leisure. And yeah, good stuff as always.
Thanks,
good
Bob.
seeing you all.
Thanks, Bob. Catch you later, dude.
All right, bye.
Hey guys.
Quick one, Steve. Have you got the parcel yet?
Let's get into the technical questions and answers. If not, I'm going home.
Bye-bye.
Could you? I'll be hitting you up on the blogs, Dave. And thanks again for all your help.
Well, it's nice to see somebody carrying forward with, the stuff. I'm so sick and tired of guys wasting my time with questions and I never see any results. You get the shit done. I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Dave, I appreciate that hydraulic thing. And like today, even I got with that bypass valve. I'll have to remember that. So
Well,
the little pinhole in the tube. So
torpedo men know their shit.
Aha.
Not like the navigassers.
Ed, you still here?
Yeah.
Right. So you were talking about Vanguard names earlier.
Yes.
So you got Vanguard, Vengeance, Victorious, and Valley, and then Vigilant, and yeah, there you go. So the other one's Victorious. Now that's a name and a half, isn't it?
I just thought, vengeance for raining death down on a continent after they mess with you is really a nice, cool name.
Exactly. And then you have a Victorious following up behind saying, yeah, have that you got.
Yeah. There you go. He's still recording this.
That's all right. Anyway, boys, I'm being harassed to go and get scranned. I will catch you later. Dave, as usual, it's a pleasure listening to you bully everybody.
What's wrong with you?
With me? In what way?
Goddamn Brits, man. Can't get rid of them quick enough.
You cheeky git. Dave, we'll talk about whipping at some point, shall we?
No, we won't.
Right, see you later, guys. Have a good one. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Later, man.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Stay safe, man.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, we'll do. Ed, send us that email over, yeah?
Will do.
Nice one, man. Catch you soon, guys. Bye-bye.
Did you get that parcel, Steve?
Did. Thank you very much.
Cool. Oh, mail's been messed up. That was all.
No, it came rather promptly. So I have not had a chance to put it in the boat yet. I've been so tied up with other things, but yeah, I got it. Thank you.
It was when I sent stuff to Bob. it took forever to get there. That's why I was a bit worried. It's when it started saying it's now left New York, going to Jamaica. That's when I got worried.
What?
I didn't realise that was a sorting office. I was like, why is it going to Jamaica to go to Florida?
Crazy.
All right, guys, I'm signing off. Be safe.
Be safe.
Hey,
Yeah,
Tim.
I'm out of here too, guys. Everybody have a good one.
Hey, Tim, I was able to make a full length, not a full length, but a 200 millimeter length of haul out of resin with my Saturn resin printer.
Yeah, I saw your.
I did a drop test on it. It took 8 times before it broke. I dropped it on the concrete. I threw it up and dropped it on the concrete. So I say it's pretty strong. It took 8 times.
A lot of people either don't drain the model properly, so the resin's still inside and cracks it, or they don't put enough UV time through it, or they overcook it. And that's why they're brittle. But I've never had one break. I mean, yours proved it. You know.
But I mean, I threw it up. It's like 6 foot high onto concrete. I mean, it didn't take no damage.
What the story is, don't drop it on concrete.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, you can prove now you can ram a ship and it won't break, so you can sink the ship.
However, one thing I found is while the print is strong, if you just print like the bottom half of the sub and then the top half of the sub, it's like it doesn't like to bend well. And,
no, you gotta bend it for you.
I was told by another person to simply print the top and bottom piece as one, like Otto does it, because with resin anyway, because it's just not flexible enough to do it in half pieces. If you're doing,
you can do it in half pieces, but when you take it out of the resin and dry it, put it under a towel so it can't get UV. Print the other half, and then it's still flexible before you put the UV on it. Does that make sense?
No, but I'm listening.
So you print the bottom half, clean it, drain it, and then hide it from the UV. So put it under a towel. Print the other half, and then they're still flexible, so you can reshape it, and then hit it with the UV gun.
Okay. Well, like the pieces I'm making are solid 2.5 millimeter pieces.
Yeah, but they'll still be flexible before you put the UV on it.
Okay.
The problem is people will take them out, they'll put them down and don't realise UV's coming through the glass windows. I've done it, thinking, oh, it'll be all right.
I mean, I love it because it only took like 10.5 hours to print that section. The same thing on my regular printer would take up to 32 hours.
I don't know how well they'll hold up over time, because I don't think they'll last forever, you know, the resin, but we'll see.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I'm checking out. You guys all have a great day and stay safe.
You too.
Later, Rob. I'm gonna sign off too.
David, I have a
later.
quick. Damn it, how's this work?
Yep. See y'all later.
See ya.
Yep, bye.
The quality of the print, I think they're astronomical. I mean, the detail you'll never bits you can make on it to add on. They're brilliant. I mean, it's not proper modeling if you just press and print, but it helps a lot.
One thing though, it's going to be expensive because I went through a $40 bottle of resin like that, and that's $40 gone. So it's not cheap.
Well, you dropped it.
Huh? Oh, wow. I wish I would have. It feels like I'm pouring it down the sink because it disappears so fast. It's like, wow. But one thing though, you better make sure that your model is on the top has the top resolution, because when it prints, if your model looks like crap, it will look like crap when you print it, because it'll show all the bad marks. You got to make sure the model is completely smooth. All the parts are exactly how you want it, or else when you print it, it'll look terrible. Yeah.
If they have such high resolution.
Yeah, because the same model, I printed it out on my regular printer. It looked great. I printed it out on my resin printer. It did not look great. It looked really bad. So I had to put the model into NetFab and smooth it out, smooth the outer shell, which took time, and then reprint it. And then, of course, it looked great now. And I just can't wait to do the next piece, because I just got done on NetFab, smoothing everything out, making sure that everything is smooth so that when it prints, it'll print great. And I strengthened the ends. I made them 5 millimeters thick instead of the regular 2.5, like I had it, like, you know, the shell, just to give it more strength at the ends. And I mean, I'm hoping it comes out good. That's what I bought the Saturn for. But if it doesn't, I'll use it just to print out the hatches, the guns, and the conning tower. And then I'll just print out the whole rest of the sub on ASA. But it's just a time saver to print it on the resin printer. I mean, it's just. No,
I've got to admit, I think the resin printers are brilliant, but I still like building stuff in my hands. You know what I mean?
Oh, nothing wrong with it. I don't mind that too. But sometimes I get lazy sometimes. I say, it's going to come out the same way, whether I do it myself or I have the printer do it. You know what I mean?
Ernie, did you have a question? You're on mute. There we go.
There we go, yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry, first time. Yeah, so I want to ask Dave about his sturgeon he's coming out with. I've been waiting on a skipjack from Scale Shipyard since July, and you know, I don't think it'll ever get here. So I'm just wondering, I really want a sturgeon, but really want a 172, but I guess I have to take the smaller one. Could you talk a little bit about that, Dave?
Yeah. I don't know if you're aware, but I've got an active thread going on at the forum concerning the development of tooling for a 196 scale sturgeon class kit. It'll be a GRP hull. Appendages, including the sail, will be resin with a lot of metal parts. Now, my job is to take what was formerly a Thor kit, and Matt Thor does excellent work as far as masters go. He sold his interest to Bob, and Bob asked me to reduce it all to tooling, which is what I'm doing right now. Ernie, to get back to your point, I should be done with the tooling in about 30 days. I've already got the glove done, and I invite anybody who's interested just to follow the thread at the forum to see what's up. But to answer your question, I'll be done in about a month, and then it's up to Bob to get into a production mode. I can't speak for that, but now you know what I know. So we'll have this thing wrapped up from my end in 30 days. And then hopefully I'll move on to another Thor product that needs to be reduced to tooling. Hope I answered.
Oh yeah, I just and I guess to actually make it a long haul, you just need to add about 2 inches of cut it and add about 2 inches of hull material in there, I guess, right?
Well, whatever 8.5 foot is, yeah, at that scale.
Okay. Is it okay? Okay, well, that'll get me going, I guess.
Unless you're getting weird and doing the Lipscomb or the Narwhal.
Oh no, I was on the Russell, Dick Dickey before Dickie Dick's you.
Oh, you're on the Russell?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Dick Dickey before he dicks you.
I was on the Pigfish.
Oh God. Well, but anyway, so I appreciate it because, like I said, I've been waiting forever for a skipjack from Scale Shipyard, which may come when I die. So
now the Scale Shipyard, the only one I know they have is 172nd.
yeah, that's what I want. I talked to the guy. They had I was going to do the skipjack just because it was a 172 scale and I wanted fiberglass. I don't like working with plastic models. They just
don't be such a friggin' snob. Go ahead and spring for the kit.
I got the kit. I wanted fiberglass, so it's just a little bit more durable, I think. But anyway.
Well, you know what? I'm on a personal close relationship with a guy who designed that kit for Mobius, and I can assure you, he assured me that that's a fine kit.
Okay. Okay. If you say so.
Steve?
Thank you.
Steve? Yeah. Can you send me, your email? I want to send you something. I think with that V-tail mixer, everybody was misunderstanding what I was saying. I was talking about a physical mechanical one that Dubro makes and hooking up your pitch controller to that elevator.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not at all familiar with that.
It's based on the one that the Beechcraft used.
Right, yeah. But I think everybody was thinking I was talking electronically, but I was talking mechanical, and then hooking up your pitch controller to the elevator one, which would, be outside the transmitter.
Well, Frank, I did just that about 30 years ago on Albacore. It was a mechanical mixer in a phase 3 Albacore. Worked just fine. And as you described, you got your servo driving the pitch side, but before that servo is the angle keeper. And from that point on, it's all mechanical. Yeah.
Yeah, see, I've always...
because to me, that would solve his problem.
That was one thing I wasn't looking forward to, trying to figure out how to get it to work. But you've just explained it and kind of got rid of all of my worries.
Usually a problem is in practice easier than when you're trying to skull it out at night.
Yeah. I was, when you start trying to overthink how they work, and then when you go back to the basics and think, actually...
It's like an episode of House when he has that eureka moment.
Yeah, but isn't he always drunk in that? But no, if there's a lot of models with it in, I might have a look at getting something out there. Because if you don't have to buy a V-tail mixer on top of it, a leveler, saves you space and money, doesn't it? Yep. See what happens. So I know Matt's been having a go at me to get one, and I was putting him off. I am looking forward to seeing how that Stingray is going to work.
I had a stab at trying to get a Stingray to work. I never got into the hardware. I was into that skullduggery mode, and holy shit, you got nothing working for you. You got that doorknob looking propulsor and little else going. And those fins on the side are useless.
But it's like anything. It's like any of his models. They're not meant to work in real life.
I subscribe to the theory that the Andersons hate model builders.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I am looking forward to seeing it. Because I've got a friend that makes what's the other one? It's like I think it goes on the bottom of the what's it called? It's a big yellow flying wing.
Oh, the flying sub.
Yeah, I was quite shocked how well that worked.
We've all been able to make it work, but nobody's been able to figure out how to bank them so that they do not do that awful skidding turn.
Oh, okay.
You got to fly into that turn in a banking fashion, and those two thrusters are too closely coupled to give you much roll authority.
Yeah. But it's like I'd love to help build a, you know, how you see the Chinese people make the Enterprise. But what's the point if you haven't got a swimming pool? You'll never see it. It's all that work for nothing. But I'd love to give that a go.
All right, that's it. I'm bailing. Anybody got anything?
That's it. Just on the flying sub. I don't know how they survived that entrance of the water.
They just all turned to jelly.
The movie.
Yeah, there must be.
You want rationality from Irwin Allen? What's wrong with you?
No, that one gets me every time.
All right, troops, I'm out of here.
See you later.
See you later.
Me too.
Bye-bye.
Later, guys.
See you later, guys. I'm out of here too.
Steve, did you want that site?
Yeah.
If you go on Google and look up Dubro V-tail mixer, you'll get it.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
You got it.
Nice. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Signing off. Bye, guys.
Oh, one of those mixers.
What's that?
One of those mixers. I use them all the time.
Yeah, they sit on top of the rudder servo, and then the pivot, the control, the rods pivot attaching to the elevator. And yeah. I imagine just put the pitch controller on the elevator servo, everything will work the way you want it.
Yeah, it will do.
It's about $10 on Google anyway, where I saw it. So, not to take away from you, Tim, but
no.
You know, I thought that,
I don't want to make it, but if there's a need for it, then I'll work on it. If that makes sense. But no, I would prefer get something like this that does it all, and then you're not having to worry about, because the problem I've seen with the Engel one is when it starts to tilt, it doesn't work that great. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, but no, this will make life a lot easier. Cheers for that. You had about four quid off Hobby King. They're the ones I use for my motors.
Yep.
You know what I mean? All right, mate. I'll let you go. I'll catch up with you soon.
You got it. Take care. Be healthy.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.